When even those who can't afford it are breaking down, you know something's wrong. For many, Britain isn't a place to live, it's a place to survive. And some are done surviving.
I'm sorry, but what in the actual F, I'm trying to stop swearing, but what in the actual F is going on with the housing and rental at the moment? Like, I can't get my head around it. I get sent alerts to me when there's like new properties up for rent and stuff like that, because I want to move, ideally a house. If I want a house, 2 to 3 bedrooms, it's about 2,200, that's decent. I just, where do they expect us to live? In like a little ant's nest or something? Because I literally, kid you not, yeah, I saw a property on Rightmove. You know the things that people get done, like built in the back of their garden? I don't know what it's called. You know, one of them little shed shack things. Up for rent for 1,100. 1 bedroom. The cheek of it. I don't understand what the F is going on. No, I'm not happy. I'm in shock. This needs to get sorted, mate, because I'm just going to move abroad. I'm done. I'm out of here.
A growing number of Brits feel abandoned, watching the government offer housing to asylum seekers while they can't even get a doctor's appointment. It's no longer just frustration, it's starting to feel like betrayal.
The UK government is now dishing out 5-year guaranteed rent contracts to private landlords, not for ordinary Brits, not for young families, but for asylum seekers. Yes, while you're out here refreshing Rightmove like it's Tinder, hoping for a miracle under 1,200 quid, Serco is offering landlords guaranteed cash, no hassle, fully funded by you. The same taxpayers who can't even get a doctor's appointment without begging and waiting weeks on end. Thousands of homes are being pulled from the private rental market, just as an entire generation of British people can't afford to leave their parents' house. And what's the government doing for you? Absolutely. Let's be clear. This isn't compassion. It's a 2-tier system where the people who built this country, who work, obey the law and pay every bill, get pushed to the bottom, while those who just arrived get handed the keys. Loyalty means nothing. Being British gets you nothing. This isn't a housing plan. It's a betrayal. And we are not staying silent anymore, because if we don't speak up now, then who will?
In London, stepping outside your house can cost you £45, and that's just for dry cleaning and a couple cosmetics. It's not just expensive anymore, it's insane.
You know, they have a saying in London, you can't leave your house without spending £20. I'm on my lunch break for work and I just went and got my coat dry cleaned and it was £30 and picked up 2 cosmetics and it was £15. So I left the house for 20 minutes and spent £45. So if you're thinking of moving to London, just know it's not cheap.
This country is finished, man. It's actually finished. God forbid you might actually want to eat healthy or flipping manage your personal hygiene to a basic standard, because it's going to cost you an arm and a leg. I just got some deodorant, packet of rice, and some chicken korma ready meal from Sainsbury's and a drink, and it cost me £14.80. Like, for a minimum wage, yeah, that's an hour and a half work. If you change the equation from money to time, that's an hour and a half of your life just to barely survive. Like, what the... £14.80 for chicken, rice, deodorant, and a ready meal chicken korma. For £15, bro. God forbid you want to actually survive and not even have fun, just survive comfortably, man. This country's in the mud.
This creator came back to the UK hoping to rebuild, but instead of finding peace, all they found was loneliness, depression, and a system that feels more like a prison than a home.
When I got back to this country, I decided that I'm gonna make the most of it. So I will find some type of happiness in this country. If it's not in London, I will go up north. Since then, I have been using my days to find a vibe, and the only thing I found was depression. That's the only thing I found. All I found was disappointment, all I found was loneliness, and all I found was a lack of magic. There's no magic here. This isn't a magical place. This is a jail cell. This is a prison where you earn money to survive. Apart from that, you're lucky that you're allowed out in your garden or you're allowed out in the streets in this slum. But to me, London is nothing but a bona fide prison. Don't be dead.
Imagine buying just a latte and a bacon burger and still walking away stunned by the total. In broken Britain, even a snack feels like luxury spending.
What in the broken Britain cost of living? It is this now. Just take a look at this.
So we got a small latte. We got a pack of smoked crispy bacon burgers. And I'll guess how much they've just cost me. Come on, someone. You've got to know what they've just cost. Tell me what you think in the comments. And I'll put the cost of them later on because I'm shocked.
This is another reason we're leaving this country. We want some lamb mince to make a kebab and it's £7.50. Look at the pack. The size of my hand. Getting absolutely ripped off in this country.
£7.50.
And I've had enough. City.
Fuck me, I've decided to be a bit more healthy instead of eating kebabs 8 days a week and watching United pissed up on Jesus Jews. Have you seen these prices for fruit? No wonder every cunt's a fat cunt. I mean, look at this £2-4 like that's good. You can get a doner kebab for an extra £1. No wonder everyone in this country is an obese fat bastard. And since when was it £1.40 for a lettuce? They used to be 59p last time I bought one, which, yeah, rightly so, was about 7 years ago. I mean, look at that, £1.40 for a pack of tomatoes. Something for the ladies if you can afford it. £3.50. Get to fuck. You literally got to scramble around the bag in pocket section to try and get anything decent for a decent price. Fuck me, forget Ann Summers. Something else for the ladies there and a lot cheaper. I mean, that's not bad. £1.50 for a double pack. That's not too bad. Now that's not bad. 80p for a bag. Get yourself down to Morrison's. Thank me later.
What in the actual cost of living crisis is going on? What do you mean? Guess how much I paid for this. Guess how much I paid for this gingerbread iced latte. Guess. No added shots. No added shots. It's a medium, might I add. £5.80. I paid £3.80 for this. £5.80. Remember when these used to be £3? Are you actually having a giggle? I paid £5 for something that is that small and is going to go in 30 seconds. Are you actually joking? This is what's exactly wrong with the world. I looked to the window thinking, yeah, she'll only charge me £4. £5.80. We are going insane! I just paid £5 for a coffee. £5. We're in a cost of living crisis. And I paid £5 for a coffee.
When even those who can't afford it are breaking down, you know something's wrong. For many, Britain isn't a place to live, it's a place to survive. And some are done surviving.
What the is going on in the UK? Childcare costs, horrendous. Car insurance, horrendous. Shopping, double horrendous. Like, everything costs a fortune. Now, luckily, I'm in a position where I can afford it. What are people doing? Yeah, I haven't got much money. What? All our bills are rising, but what if you've not got a little bit of money to make up for that bill that's increasing? Then what do you do? I am literally fed up with this country. I just want out. I mean, I know nowhere else is perfect, but just the cost of living is getting ridiculous. And then actually, living's just poor. Like, people, I feel like people are just surviving. Every other day, I am seeing people posting that they are just working to survive. They've got nothing to show for the money that they're earning. It's just a sad, sad existence, and I'm not here for it. That is why I started making income online. I started making income online so I can live a better lifestyle, so that I do not have to slave away for a paycheck that doesn't go far. I need to wake up We're living in a digital era. We're going into 2025. The world is changing. If you do not change with it, you're going to get left behind and you're going to live such a miserable life. It's time to work smarter, not harder.
So, after travelling a month in Thailand and literally having the best time because everything's so cheap, everyone is so happy, they love their life and they are literally the most friendliest people ever, you come back home and now I've had to do my shopping and oh my god, let me just tell you something. I've just spent £100 on food shopping, which therefore has only got me 3 bags. It is literally terrible what world and society we live in. It is so dear, everyone is so depressed, and I don't understand how people can actually live like this because the prices are unreal. It is disgusting. Like, it is time we actually wake up and try and break this, because at the end of the day we are living in a crisis. People cannot afford to eat, and I'm telling you, the prices have gone up. I don't know if it's me because I've become selfish because I've had such luxury and it's been so cheap in Thailand, or if it's just absolutely trying to rip me off on Tesco's. Please tell me, guys, am I wrong or am I right? Because that is an absolute joke.
I'm so fucking tired of the UK. It's gone to the point where I'm looking at moving out. So I think it's going to take fucking years for the UK to start doing better again. Because it's that fucked. The thing is, moving is not fucking easy. Thanks, Brexit. I need a visa, I need a job, I need to save a shit ton of money, and probably learn a new language. And unless you're wealthy, your quality of life is fucking shit. I cannot afford, as a nearly 30-year-old, to rent something other than a fucking room. I work full time, so I should at least be able to afford a 1-bed apartment. It's not that fucking much to ask for, it's a 1-bed apartment. I think as a country we're so desensitised to everything that we just take the bare fucking minimum. I don't claim to be in poverty and my life isn't terrible. There are so many people out there who can't even afford to put food on the fucking table. And it's not like it's an uncommon thing, this is quite common now. Just like, what the fuck?
What is going on with the cost of living? Sorry, it was a bit aggressive, but what is going on? I mean, I've just had to redo my car insurance and I've got like loads of New Year's claims, blah de blah de blah. I'm old as fuck, so my car insurance should be low. Is it low? No, it isn't. It's gone up again. What is going on with like food shopping? Every time I go to the supermarket, everything I buy is like more expensive. For example, the coffee that I buy, which is just like a regular filter coffee, has gone up £2? £2? How can something go up £2 in what must be about the space of like 2 or 3 weeks? £2? I know it's just £2, but £2? I can't, even with how much everything's costing. Fuel's gone up, insurance on my home has gone up, insurance on my car has gone up, like food shopping has gone up, water bill's going up, my council tax is threatening to go up. Ooh, just my utility bills have gone up from like £160 a month to £230 a month. We have no money. Where are people getting the money from? Okay, stop shouting, Fiona. I'm fine. But where are people getting the money from? What is going on in this country?
I love living in the UK, and if you've seen my recent videos, you'll know it. Here are 3 benefits of living in the UK. Starting off with the extremely high taxes. If you love getting taxed on literally everything and supporting your government, the UK is the place for you. You can get taxed up to 45%, which is amazing. All your hard-earned money going straight to the government that loves and cares for you. Not to mention ULEZ, where you get the opportunity to pay £12.50 a day just to drive your car that you've already paid tax on. What's not to love about it? Next is the beautiful weather of the UK. Most of the time it's dark, cold and rainy, and you'll rarely ever see the sun. You can't ask for better weather than this. If you love going to work in the dark and coming home in the dark, after paying your £12.50 ULEZ, then you'll love the UK. Number 1 is the cost of living. Don't you just love the extortionate prices of the UK? Barely being able to afford rent because it's so expensive, and paying £2.50 for a can of beans. Perfect. Surely you'd rather live in the UK rather than somewhere where the cost of living is a third of the price. But what's not to love about the cost of living crisis in the UK right now? So big up the UK. And if you like the video, follow for more content.
3 reasons I left the UK in my 20s. Let's go.
Number 1 being the UK is too expensive even for living a basic lifestyle. And I'm not just saying that because I had no money. In fact, sometimes I would make £5,000 a month. Other months I would get close to £10,000 a month. But the point is, regardless of how much money I earned every month, that money was still all gone by the end of each month. Rent is incredibly expensive for what you get. I mean, you're looking at over £1,000 a month for a single person's rent. But regardless, the UK average salary is about £2,000 after taxes. You're spending half of it towards your rent, and you've got a couple £100 towards your car, bills, groceries, and by the end of it, you're lucky if you have £100 left to go get a beer down the pub. And this is all on purpose. They want you to work, spend, and keep living in that cycle. It's a constant cycle of survival, and that's why everybody in the UK is miserable and they blame it on the weather. It's because they have no time or money to do something that they actually enjoy. Because most people work so many hours and they're still broke. You work a 9 to 5, you have no time to go on an adventure longer than the weekend. You literally have no freedom because you have to work for the things that you have to pay for. That's just one of the reasons why I quit my 9 to 5 desk job and move on to working online and traveling across Europe. So make sure to follow for part 2 if you want to know how I actually did it.
Or you'll definitely relate to it. So coming from work on Friday, and I said to the missus, we're going to go and get some bits to last us 5 or 6 days from Aldi. 110 quid. This was Friday. Comes in from work yesterday, we need to go to Aldi. What? Yeah, run out of food. So we go to Aldi, and I said, we'll spend about 50 quid, just get a few bits for the next couple of days, kids' school stuff, a couple of things for work and stuff like that. And then when it comes to Friday, we'll get another shopping. 85 quid we spent yesterday, and it was a small trolley, and that wasn't even full. That's £185 since Friday in Aldi, and I don't think this food will last until Wednesday or Thursday at least. Slowly but surely, the shopping bill just increases without you even knowing it. Greed again. We're getting over.
Are people going to talk about how living in the UK is actually depressing? The UK is just not it anymore. Like, the UK was it like back in the day, hence why like our parents migrated. But like when I hear people saying they want to come to the UK, I'm like, what are you actually coming to the UK for? There's nothing in this country. Food is expensive, transport is expensive, everything, living is expensive, like everything, housing is expensive. Like, why would you want to move to the UK? Like, I have a question for like foreigners. Why do you guys come to the UK? I just don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, every day I just like get on the train, go to work, come back home, eat, sleep, repeat. Like, I feel like a robot.
Is gradually becoming very expensive, and it's vexing me. I'm so upset. I just went to buy a few things for my child, all of those biscuits, toothpaste, tiny things that doesn't even make sense. And in my head I'm thinking, okay, like 40 to 50 pounds. Tell me why I'm spending 100 pounds on this, guys. Just these tiny things now, 100 pounds. Oh my god, 100 freaking pounds right now for these things.
I moved out of the south because house prices there were unacceptable for what you could get, only to then sit here in an absolute state of panic, trying to find a return ticket from Preston to London, and this is the choices that I get. I get to choose between £327, £217 or £320. How are you meant to improve your livelihood in this country, whereby improving it in one area means that it comes at such a huge cost in another area, be it the train prices or even energy prices? And then you get a very limited chance of finding jobs around the area that is perhaps much more affordable. So how are you meant to win? How are you meant to improve and progress in life?
Can someone tell me how people are supposed to go out and enjoy themselves when you get presented with a bill like that for a glass of wine and a Diet Coke? That is £17 for one 250ml glass of white wine, just a regular Sauvignon Blanc, nothing special, and a Diet Coke. £17.05. Just to contrast that, I've just come back from France, and over there, so that's about €20. And over there, I visited a little creperie with my daughter, and we both had a glass of wine, and we both had, she had a crepe and I had some ice cream, and the total for that was €14. This is the equivalent of about 20 euros. So €6 cheaper. We both had a glass of wine and we both had something to eat. How the fuck can we justify this in England? This sort of pricing in just a pub? How can someone just explain the economics of all of this? Because I just don't get it. I was at the airport yesterday waiting to catch my flight from Poitiers, and even at the airport they were selling glasses of wine. This is an airport for €4. So on the way out at the Wetherspoons pub in Stansted, you can easily pay 10 to 15 euros for a glass of wine. Sorry, pounds for a glass of wine. How can someone just explain the economics of all of this? Because it beats me. It really does.
So people always say London is expensive, but I don't think I clocked how expensive they meant when they said expensive. I'm currently staying with my boyfriend's family in the south of England in Winchester. Now, it takes about an hour on the train to get from Winchester into London, where I'm working. Individual train tickets are quite expensive, but I was like, oh, I'll buy a monthly pass. A monthly pass basically means for the next 30 days, I can catch the train from Winchester to London whenever I want. I can get on any train. I can go unlimited amount of times, right? So it's good value. I want you to have a think. 1 hour train ride, how much would you expect that to cost? I'll wait. For 1 month, 30 days of travel to be able to go to and from London, it was £645. That's like 1,340 AUD. I may as well be paying rent at that point. Like, sorry, is that not insane? Anyway, this Aperol Spritz also cost £12.50. That's $26. I honestly ought not to leave the house.
I've just been told by someone who works at Greggs that everything at Greggs is going up by 15p as of next week because of a thief tax. But every Greggs I've gone to, 90% of their stuff has been behind their glass counters. So I don't know what they think we're stealing. Also, apparently loads of companies are losing loads of money because people are stealing. No, guys, maybe some people are stealing, but everything is more expensive now, so we can't afford to eat out anymore. But you guys go ahead and raise the price of everything a little bit more.
Listening to Keir Starmer talk about energy hikes and stuff this morning. Excuse the state of me, I'm on BBC Breakfast. He's saying, that essentially if he were in power, that he would use a windfall tax to prevent the rise in energy costs for the average family. He's saying that the average family's energy bill will go up £600-700 a year. He's saying that this will cover that period of time. The gentleman is asking him questions. Well, what about October when it hikes in October, etc., etc. He's pretty dismissive. He's not, very concise with what he's saying. But my question is, why do we need a windfall tax why do we need the VAT receipts to be covering parts of our energy bills? I don't understand why, these businesses are making record profits, like absolute record profits, like in the billions. And yet you've got your average family, like me and you, having to, pull pennies out of our arse, basically, to cover our energy bills. There are families that aren't getting out of bed in the morning until late, according to this that I've been listening to, because they cannot afford the energy bills. Families that are living with blankets all around them. People that have got their thermostat set to 12. This morning it's been like 2-3 degrees where I live in the southwest. It's freezing. And I just find it baffling that we even have this discussion. Like, it doesn't matter, you don't need to worry, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. No, you don't need to do any of this. Deal with the big companies that are swallowing so much profit and putting so many people into debt. That's what you should be addressing. It shouldn't be allowed. It's like a different version of profiteering, if you like. When something's really bad and difficult, that we make money out of that situation. You weren't allowed to do this shit like that during the war. So why are we allowed to do stuff like that now? Why are big corporations allowed to do that? And they get away with it. It's no biggie, whatever. Well, France haven't done it, so why the are we?
And if you don't feel like you're getting richer, then clearly you're not poor enough. Because in Vietnam, the average worker's salary from 2015 to 2025 increased 63.5%. In Poland, a developing country, 44% increase in wage growth since 2017. Often we're hearing a narrative right now that the rich are getting richer, that the poor are getting poorer. But the reality is that for Western economies, that for 50 years we have benefited off the backs of people literally working for $1 or £1 a day in developing nations, providing us goods and services on the cheap. And we have benefited from that. We as a Western economy. But now things are changing. Wages in these places are increasing at a rapid rate, far outpacing our own. And so while some of the poorest globally in society are getting richer and richer, the poor in our Western society feel the pinch more and more. Not because their own economies necessarily, but actually because developing economies are now catching up. And we've got to do something about it. Will we stay the same or will we grow?
This country is so man. People forget how lucky they are. I've just had a friend message me and they were struggling, and I'm in a position where I can help them financially. Nothing major, not a lot. It's nothing crazy. It's just enough for a weekly shop. But the fact that we've got people who are full-time working and still, bear in mind they're on good money, unable to handle the struggles of the financial situation in this country, it blows my mind, honestly. It blows my absolute mind. It's a worry. It's a worry. So everybody out there, just think, if you don't have to ask your friend for money, you're lucky. But it could be you soon because it's not getting any better. What can you do? But the reason I'm posting this is just to say you're not alone. If you are struggling, you are not alone. So many people are going through it and it's nothing to be embarrassed about.
Why can't I afford to buy a house? Not a house, not a house for but a house. Potty mouth. You know, I work my little off. I work full time. I've got a bit of a side hustle. I have a relatively healthy deposit, I would say. But yeah, I still can't afford to buy a property. I mean, I have considered selling photos of my feet to maybe stump up the extra funds, but my trotters are rancid, to be fair, so no one's going to want those. I just find it so unfair. I really do. And what hope is there for our little babes, you know? It's pretty bleak. And maybe some will say, actually, mortgage isn't the be-all and end-all and actually just rent. But I don't know. It just feels maybe harder than it was 20 years ago. Because I have had mortgages before. Then I got divorced. So that's why I'm in this situation. But yeah.
In the UK, yeah, you have to work like a rat. You have to work like a rat to live like a donkey. You understand? You have to work like a rat to live like a donkey. The UK is completely finished. Back in the days, in our parents' time, one income household is perfect. Your dad can work, you know, your mother can take care of the household. It was convenient, it was easy, you can pay the bills, you can go on nice holidays, etc, etc. You understand? But nowadays, the man has to work 3-4 jobs, you know. The woman has to work as well to pay for childcare, because childcare is expensive in itself. It's like $1,000 a month to put your child in childcare. You understand? Like nowadays, it's too expensive. Owning a car is too expensive. Going on a holiday is too expensive. Like, it's ridiculous. When I went to Egypt, yeah, I lived like a millionaire. I lived like a millionaire in Egypt, because obviously everything was cheap there. It was easy. When I had one friend, yeah, he was working in Thailand. He was living on the beach. Like, how do you live on a beach? You understand? But he was living on the beach, and I was telling him, how much were you, I was asking him, how much were you paying in rent? He said, you know what he said? £200 a month. £200 a month to live on the beach. You understand? In Thailand. And I go, what about food and everything like that? He goes, I was not cooking. I go, what do you mean you weren't cooking? Like, were you eating as expensive? He goes, no, I was spending like £20 a day. I was spending like £20 a day on food, 4 or 5 meals a day. 4 or 5 meals a day, that cost him £20. Sign me up to that, man. You understand? In the UK, the average rent is £1,000, and that's a rubbish property. £1,000 to eat out 3-4 meals a day. You're spending like £60. Too expensive. That is ridiculous. But I am not the type of person to point fingers. I need to point fingers at myself. You understand? You need to learn a skill that pays you more. You need to create a business, learn to leverage your skills. And if truly you don't want to live in the UK, you need to plan your escape. I'm planning my escape. But are you planning yours, or are you just gonna settle for this UK lifestyle? The UK is finished, man. There's no alternative. You understand? It is what it is. Are you gonna take the leap? Because I'm considering taking the leap. I need to go to a Muslim country, man. Because you can't have nice things in the UK. You understand? You have a nice car, it'll get scratched by someone. You'll have a nice watch, it'll get robbed. You understand? If you go to a Muslim country, none of that stuff will happen. I can tell you that.
Look, we all know grocery prices are getting pretty expensive nowadays, but I do want to just draw attention to the fact of the difference between the shops and that there is still value. Now, what I didn't realize is the difference is actually huge. So between shopping in like a Waitrose compared to like Aldi or Iceland is genuinely 40 to 50% even for the same product. I was looking at Bird's Eye fish fingers today. In Waitrose for 32, it's over £9, and the exact same packet in Iceland is £5. So honestly, if you just switch your shop and probably get the same items, you can save considerable amount just by going to a different supermarket, even if the items are the same.
Oh, I've had enough. I've really had enough. How old would you guys, oh God, this is very dodgy asking the internet this, but how old would you guys think that I am? I've got some grey hairs coming through here. Yes, I've got makeup on, but my face moves. I've got quite a lot of wrinkles. I've got like wrinkles on my eyes. My neck is getting a bit saggy. Why am I telling the internet this? Anyway, my point is, I am so sick of people's faces on the internet with filters on and Botox and lasers and fillers, and no shade to people who do that because it's your face and you do whatever you want. But where are the people with normal faces who don't get work done because we can't afford it? Where are you? Where are all the people? So anyway, I didn't really want to show my face like this today. And then I thought, how ridiculous is it that I don't want to show my perfectly normal face on the internet because I'm so used to seeing a filtered face. And I look in the mirror and go, ooh, a little bit, because my face doesn't look like that. And even amongst my friends, my face does look a little bit different because I don't know anyone apart from me of my age who hasn't had Botox, at least at the minimum. Most people have had a lot more than Botox by my age. So go on, let's have it. How old do you think I am?